everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for joining, and if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. So today we are here to have a little story time for you. Hui wants to share his experience with you. You guys have asked a lot of questions about how he came to America and like what he does now, so today is your chance to find out all those details that you've been asking about for so long. So
may not be that interesting, but
yes. So he's got his coffee, I've got my water, and we're ready to tell you a story. So I personally love the story. You say it's not interesting, but I like it. So I guess we'll just start right at the beginning, back in Vietnam. So you had a little joke going on with your friend, right?
yeah. It was when I was 10th grade in high school. My friend Ai Kung, shout out to you if you're watching. He told me about this sort of because we've been taking English classes together for, at that point, maybe 4 years. So we said, you know what, this exam that they test your English for free. So then you know, just go take it and see how it goes. I wasn't fully aware what this exam was about, or you know, I didn't know what happened after the exam, right? So I was like, okay, you know what, let's go test my English. So we went to this this office in District 1 in Ho Chi Minh City, and so we went up there. You know, we sat the exam. There was two parts. One is written, the other one is sort of oral exam, where they there's you know, a teacher or something actually did the interviews. We did the written part first. Everything was easy. You know what? I did the exam, and then afterward, I started to realize that this is sort of like the sort of like a test for you to apply into the student exchange program. so it's like, but then, like, both my friend and I don't know about him, but I think if I remember correctly at the time, he wasn't sure about going to study abroad either. So we were just like, you know, there's still a second round, we go through with it, or do we not? Because we never really, you know, put much thought into this. So we said, well, you know what, let's just go for the interview round anyway, because who knows, maybe we're not gonna pass. So then we came in for the interview round separately, of course, and I went through the process, and then maybe a few days later, the office contacted my family, and I was like, well, you know what, you passed both tests, so now are you gonna follow through with the whole, you know, application process and actually going through the exchange program? So I was like, so then I talked to my parents about it. I brought up the idea to my parents, and they just asked me if I was serious about you know, studying abroad, because, you know, as you know, right, Vietnamese people, we don't go for just the experience itself, but we go for the long haul, right? You go and then you go back to college, and then probably an advanced degree, so on and so forth. So it's not just 1 year, go back and then you know, go back to high school in Vietnam, because it doesn't work like that. So then and I think prior to that, my parents already brought up the idea of studying abroad, but for some reason I turned it down. Maybe because I was younger at the time, maybe, you know, 8th grade, 9th grade or something like that, and I had some friends there I was hanging out with, so just the idea of, you know, going to a different country, leaving everything behind, was a bit daunting at the time. Well, the first time, but then this time when I actually thought about it and I was the one to bring it up, they said, you know what, if you're serious about, you know, studying abroad and you know, pursue a degree, then they went for it. So I said, you know what, let's do this. So my family and I went through the process of applying for the paperwork, filling out everything. It took a little bit of time. So the program that I went through, there's a tons of different exchange programs, right? That they bring students over the world to America, or vice versa, anywhere in the world, really, right? But the program that I was involved with specifically was called ISE, International Student Exchange. Very generic name.
Yeah.
Very generic name. So for those of you who don't know, right, as a part of during the application, they actually asked me whether I, or both my friends and I, right, if we wanted to sign up for a specific either region or a state, right, and with additional fee. It's not for free. So basically, we were saying, oh, maybe we want to be close, still hanging out, because it's gonna be a, you know, a strange country. You don't know anyone. It's just the two of us. So we're like, yeah, let's pick the same state, and then let's also pick the same regions.
Oh, but I have a question. Did you know right away that it was going to be America, or?
No, yeah, it's America. It's America.
It's
we knew from the bat, from right off the bat, it would have been it would be America. So there was no country. It's the same.
Yeah.
But there's well, when we asked more about the state or the region selection, there was no guarantee, and they already told flat out that since it's an international exchange program, no two students from the same country will be living in the same house. So we would not live in the same house at all. It was like, okay, it's fine, but you know, how about state or region or whatnot, so we can still meet up maybe a couple months in. But they said like there's no guarantee that you will be put in the same state either, or in the same region, if I remember correctly. So then, and I think if we wanted to pick a specific state, would have been $1,000 more.
Jeez.
Or if we,
what the heck? That's not even pocket change.
It's not. If it was a region, then it would have been $300 or something like that. I don't remember exactly the number. A little bit fuzzy here, but there was no guarantee of anything. So we said, you know what? Let's drop that thing. We're not even gonna go for it. So we said, you know what? We're already traveling halfway around the world. You know, where else can they put us? Boom! They put me in Maine. My friend went to Washington State, so
the opposite ends of the country.
Yeah, the two.
Oh, with the map. That's a big country.
The two different ends of the country.
Oh, what? 2,500 miles away.
Yeah. And I actually had to wait for a while before I knew who, because you don't just get to go, right? You have to wait for a host family to sort of adopt you, so you have a place to live, right? So then after I put all my application through, it was just a waiting process, and my notice came through very late. I remember it was later because there was a lot of people that I knew in that program. They got their notice right away, like very, very early on, and for me it was just like waiting. I think I got it maybe mid-July or something like that, which is very late.
Yeah.
Which is very late. So then my notice is that I'm going to Maine. I was like, what is it even Maine? I had no idea what Maine was or where it was, so I remember Googling it the first time, and the first thing sort of came up on Google was how cold it was.
It's very cold.
It's like negative 25 today.
Yeah.
By the way, so I think I had the choice to reject that, to say no as well, but given the timeline, and you know, it was already late, and number two is that it didn't really matter at the end of the day wherever you go. It could have sent me to Wyoming after that, so who knows, right? No shot to Wyoming, right? Like, you know, random states as well. Not everything is like New York or Massachusetts or Florida or something like that. So then, so yeah, that's sort of how it all started. It was more like a joke between me and my friend and I. Was like, oh, yeah, just go for the English test, see how it goes, and then 9 years deep now.
Yeah, 9 years. That's crazy. So, you came, you met your host dad.
Yeah.
How was the first, like, beginning time when you transitioned here?
It was rough, to be honest. He made Gary was my host dad, and he make it as easy and as seamless as possible for my transition. But the rough part was just coming in for myself, because I came here when I was 17, which is not too young but not too old either. He was very accommodating, but at the end of the day, still a strange country, still a strange language. My English, I started learning English since I was in 4th grade, and consistently, obviously, right through until I came here. But studying is one thing, guys, and actually being in the native country of the language, and especially being in a state where, or the part of the state where there was not much diversity at all. So then English was my only option.
Yeah.
Which it helped at the end of the day, but it was hard because when I was socializing with people, getting to know for the first time, especially a lot of the people that I knew at first was a little bit old of age, so then it's just that much harder. I don't know.
Yeah, old people.
The voice is a little bit harder, and some people had deep accent as well. So then I remember when we was talking, most of my reaction was just yeah. I was just like nodding, laughing, and I'm like 80% sure that people I was communicating with knew that I had no idea what was going on. So it was hard. The food was fine because I'm cool with eating buttermilk, all the quote-unquote Western burgers, pizza, anything like that I'm fine with. So food is fine. I came in early August 10th, I think. 2009? 2009, yeah. So the temperature was fine. It was still hot, so it's very similar to home, so there was no shock there. Very rural. the mainstay is rural. Maine is vast, right? The population is not dense,
yeah.
Especially the area that I was living basically for 5 years.
Middle of nowhere.
It's like in the middle of nowhere. So then you don't have much neighbor. So it was a bit of different. Jet lag was a big one.
Yeah.
I think I was struggling for like a whole week, just like sleeping.
You came right before school too, right? Oh no, that was
came with soccer.
That was who was that?
That was the
Nut?
That was Nut. Yeah, the guy that my host daddy adopted the year before me. He came, but that's a different story. Yeah, after school.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first transition was a bit hard, but as time went by, it got easier and easier, especially when I started to develop my my English a little bit. Well, UPS, that's probably
yeah.
us.
I think the package is coming.
Yeah, package is coming. You're going skiing, by the way, so
yeah.
you may see some of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe 3 months in when my English got a little bit better. Not the best, a little bit better. So then I was able to communicate a bit better with everyone. So life was a bit easier. Yeah.
I'll just ask another question. I know this video is getting a little long, so maybe some other topics we can do in a different video. But I do know someone, Senai V, she is coming to America soon, I think maybe in 2 weeks, to study abroad in Florida. So do you have any advice for her?
Put yourself out there. I think that's the easiest way to not only improve your language, your English, but also truly, get the experience.
Okay, I got the package. I'm back. So yeah, you hear that advice?
Well, yeah. Number one is put yourself out there.
Oh, you have more?
I guess.
Wow. Okay. Let's hear it.
Try this. I know it's gonna in Florida. I don't know how the Vietnamese community there, how big it is, but
I think it might be bigger than Maine, obviously.
Yeah, anywhere is better, bigger than Maine. But I know you would be tempted to just roll with the crowd, the Viet crowd, right? and to some certain degree, nothing wrong with that. It's normal to feel that way, but resist the temptation. Because at the end of the day, you go here to experience a different culture, a different environment. So if you just roll with the same crowd, you're not learning anything, you're not experiencing anything. So reach out and try to put yourself out there, because I don't know what level of studying that person is coming in as. But
high school, yeah.
High school is, I don't know. To be honest, I didn't like my high school experience in America. I went for
this. Yeah, but you were a loner.
I went to only senior year, and for some reason I found it was pretty hard to sort of wiggle my way in any friendly way. I did some sport as an advice to be integrated into the school. So I did cross country in the fall. People was very nice, no doubt about it. But I don't know. I found it was hard to actually make good connections, because when you see people that on the hallway to class, and they we should hang. When I don't know the phone number. What?
The American way.
Yeah.
That's like a greeting here.
Yeah,
so if somebody says like, like let's hang out or something, you have to like really push to make a plan, because usually that's just one of the things we say. Just like when we say like, what's up or how's it going? That's more like hello than anything. So if you're like standing there like trying to answer the question, it's a little awkward, just because that's not really how we use it in conversation. So let's hang out is almost like that. It's just like a nice thing to say like at the end of the conversation.
But it seems like they had no intention of wanting
that's
to
what
hang
I'm
out.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's almost like a goodbye greeting to somebody.
So then, if you want to do something, you go and do it. Don't.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out with somebody, then
make a plan.
You may have to make an extra effort than just
like go
the
invite
speaking.
them and do something.
Yeah. So
give them a date. Say, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
But
and academically, pick harder classes than you think you handle, because they assigned me some pretty joke of a class, because they thought that I wasn't going to be able to handle the English portion understanding, but then it was way easier than it should have been for me. So I
think American high school is pretty easy in general.
I mean, it's up to you to push yourself. So.
Yeah, you gotta take the harder classes. But yeah, hopefully it's a good experience, and
you'll like it.
Yeah, that's good advice. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video, because I don't want to make it too long. But if you have any additional questions or topics that you want us to like just sit and chat about that you might be interested in, just let us know in the comments below. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks Honey Bunny for sharing your experience with everybody. I know they're really gonna enjoy that, and it's gonna be helpful for a lot of people. So if you haven't already subscribed, click the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!